All right, I'm going to walk you through section review application 15.3, and I think it's just 1 and 2. It's not 15.4 yet. All right, I don't actually think I'm going to do 15.4. I think you can figure it out. So they've given us this equation right here. NaCO3 plus CaCl2, CaCO3, and NaCl. And we're doing the net ionic equations for the following. Okay, and the main rules that you need to remember that the guy in the video talked about is you need to break up by ions things that are salts, things that are strong acids, or things that are strong bases. Anything else you leave in its molecular compound. And if you ever have a question, you've got to remember about our ionic sheet, and you might even pull that out from your chemistry stuff. It would be very helpful to see that, because then you can see whether it would be a salt. A lot of things are salt that you're not thinking of. So I've actually looked up a lot of these, and that you can do also. You've got Google available to you to find out whether something is a strong acid or a base or a salt, or an ionic compound that is a salt. Okay, so I've labeled them so that you can see these are salts. This is a solid. It's labeled with an S, and I put solid, so it's insoluble. So whenever it is a solid and it's not aqueous, which everything else, I dropped the aqueous, but um, whenever it has an aqueous, that means it's soluble. Okay, it's actually in a water solution. So that's what's happening here. Okay, so I've broken up down here. I'm going to read them to you, and this is a scratch out, so don't worry about this. Okay. Okay, so we've broken up Na plus, and if I were you, I'd just write these down, because if you're watching the video, then you've done enough for me to be happy. And so these will be your answers in the end. All right, Na plus, and then we broke it down to, you've got your carbonate. Okay, that's a -2 if you need to look at your chart if you don't remember. Okay, and then over here, oh, sorry, that's what the 2 came from. I did cross it out. You don't really need it. You're just dealing with ions right here. So we've got Ca, which is a +2, and you have Cl, which is a negative. We've just broken this salt down. Okay, then we left this in its molecular compound state because it's insoluble and it doesn't break apart into ions. NaCl, you should be used to that by now, that it breaks up into these. Okay, so what he had us doing in the video and what your book has said is you're crossing out the extra ions that are on both sides. Okay, you ready? And this is your arrow. Okay, don't forget this is going down here. Okay, so Na, Na, Cl, Cl. So in the end, I'm going to write this for you. You're left with CO3, -2, and you want to leave the ions on them. Okay, plus Ca2 plus, and this goes to this insoluble salt or solid. It's not a salt. So that's what you end up with as your net ionic equation. Okay, I don't know if you could see it. All right, so that's the first one. Okay, the next one, I've written them in pen, but I will try to go over them with my pencil. Give me a second as I cover this. Okay, so we've got this. What I've gone through is I've looked up what I need to look up. I've looked at my list of weak acids. I've looked at my list of ions and strong bases. And also there's the rule of if it's water, you keep it water. All right, so this is what I've done. I've just written it like that. That helps me see these things. Okay, so this is a weak acid. it's not going to break apart. So it stays like this. Okay, this is a strong base. It breaks apart into ions. So you have your K plus, OH negative. Your water stays just like that because it's one of the rules. Then you have your K plus and your F negative because this is a salt. I looked that up just on Google. Okay, and if you don't remember how to look it up, just type in KF and chemical compound and you'll find more information. Okay, so what we're going to do at this point is do what we did before. We're going to cross out what's repeated on both sides. All right, and so then you are left with HF, no ions on that, plus OH negative plus water, okay, plus F negative. And that's what you're left with. You can put the little aqueous things if you want. I don't know why I don't do it, but you can go ahead and put them on there. This is a liquid and this is aqueous. Okay. All right. So then we're going to go on to the next one. Okay. I wasn't quite sure on this because it's not a super strong base. So I put it and then it didn't work out. So we're going to list it as a weak base. This is hydrochloric acid, we know as a strong acid. Okay. And this is your salt. I wasn't for sure, but I knew it was going to be my leftover stuff. So I went ahead and kept my NH3 because it's a weak base. Okay. And I put this, I didn't really, finish that out. Okay. And then I have my NH4 plus 1, and this is a minus 1. Okay. So that looks like an H. It's not an H, it's a plus 1. Right. So then what I'm going to do is cancel out the things that are on both sides. And then my end answer, my net ionic equation is going to be this. And again, you can put those aqueous things on there if you would like. Okay. All right. So there's what you have for C. All right. That was the last one in that one. Sorry, these are not clear. That's why I use marker. Okay. So we're going to go to number 2. It has A's and B's and C's, or A, B, and C. Okay. And it asks, the question is, write a balanced equation for the reaction of each of the following solids with hydrochloric acid. Now, hopefully you've already read your section and you've watched the video on what things combine with hydrochloric acid. This was good in the video, but it kind of solidifies it if you read it. All right. So we have, let me pull this down. We know that it is combining with hydrochloric acid. So that's HCl. Okay. And we know that this is what we're putting with it because that was our A. All right. And then we're going to balance it. But first we've got to figure out what else goes with it. Okay. And I'm going to show you how I came to my answer. So if you combine these in your reading and in the video, it said that it would make a salt, carbon dioxide, and water. All right. Well, the only things that are left over after I take carbon and oxygen and hydrogen out of this is NaCl, which is a salt. Okay. So it's sodium chloride. All right. So what I've done here is I went ahead and balanced it. If you can ignore this and follow the math, this is long before Christmas that we balanced things. All right. So I started with one side. Okay. And you can even start with Na2. And I came over here and put 2 over here with the Na. Okay. Here, I'll make them larger so you can see it. Put the 2 there. So I know I have Cl. I know I'm going to need 2. So I came over here and put the 2 beside the H. And then I'm just balancing everything else out. H2. I have H2. Awesome. And then I have CO3 up here and CO2 down here, but you notice I have that extra oxygen. So my oxygen's balanced, my carbon's balanced, my sodium's balanced, and my hydrogen's balanced, okay? And so that was A, okay? On B, one of the things that it said, it had a list of metals. You didn't have to memorize them, but there was a list, and I might have had you write them down. I can't remember. And silver was on there. And it said, with silver, there is no reaction with acids. Okay, so that's what you would write on B. Okay, and so then we're going on to C. Okay, and C, they wanted us to balance aluminum and not balance, react aluminum with hydrochloric acid, which is what we have right here. Okay, this is crossed out. It looks like a 3, but it's crossed out just so that you'd see it. And we know from the reading that it produces hydrogen. Plus, it was in that chart, again, the same chart that you used to figure out that it didn't react with Ag, which is silver. Okay, so we know it produces hydrogen gas. And then the only thing that is left after hydrogen pulls out right there is our aluminum chloride. Okay, now one thing that you look back on your little ion chart, you need to know how to balance this molecule right here. We knew that aluminum was a 3 plus and chlorine was a -1. And so you would need 3 chlorines to be with aluminum. Okay, so we know that going in. All right, and then we have to balance. Now I will just admit I started right here going this way. And so I put a 3 right here. You can kind of see it underneath my 6. And then I saw, oh, well, then that means 3 H's. And over here, I already had 2 H's. So then at that point, you would double this. And then this would become the 3. Okay. And so you would have 6 and 6. And your chlorine over here is already 3. So you would put your 2 right there. All right. And that was C. Oh, sorry. Okay. So you have all your answers for the application. If you've listened to this video, I hope it made sense. Sometimes it's clear as mud, and sometimes it gets clearer. But this is hard stuff. I understand. So that's why I wanted to work them out for you and kind of give you a reward for watching the video. All right. Later.